Here's the translated and adapted version of the story, set in the United States with modified character names and ages. A Tale of Second Chances, How One Bark in the Dark Changed Everything. Prepare yourself for a heart-touching story that will change your perspective on second chances. Have you ever felt lost or hopeless? Imagine a veterinarian who had lost his passion for life. But what if I told you that a single bark in the darkness would change everything? This emotional roller coaster will reveal how an act of kindness can transform lives, show that it's never too late to start anew, and prove that sometimes we need to lose ourselves to find ourselves. Warning: this story contains a shocking twist that no one saw coming. Discover how an abandoned dog became an unexpected hero, challenging an entire system and inspiring a city. You'll uncover the secret to overcoming bitterness and finding new purpose, how to face adversity with courage and compassion, and the surprising technique for turning challenges into opportunities. Spoiler alert: prepare yourself for a jaw-dropping revelation. This isn't just a story, it's a call to action. But before we dive into this inspiring tale, I want to extend a special invitation to you. Subscribe now to the channel and hit the bell icon to receive notifications. This is crucial for the channel's growth and will ensure you're notified about new videos. Now that you've subscribed to the channel, I want to share a special tip with you. Have you ever thought about earning income from your home in dollars? Click the link in the description to see how you can do this. Now, let's get to today's video. Dr. Jack Thompson, a 48-year-old veterinarian, walked the busy streets of Chicago with heavy steps, the sound of his shoes echoing on the wet asphalt. The light drizzle seemed to perfectly reflect his state of mind. His eyes, which once shone with compassion, now carried the weight of years of disillusionment. Premature wrinkles marked his face, silent witnesses to the battles he had fought. Life hadn't been kind to him, and the emotional scars were as deep as they were invisible. As he passed a coffee shop, Jack overheard two young people animatedly discussing their plans for the future. He couldn't help but smile bitterly. Ah, the naivety of youth, he thought. If only they knew how cruel life can be. On a particularly stormy night, Jack was closing his clinic when he heard a faint whimper coming from a dark alley. He hesitated for a moment, the rain soaking his coat. "Ignore it," a voice in his head said. "It's not your problem." But something stronger compelled him to investigate. As he turned the corner, his eyes fell upon a heart-wrenching scene. A dog, no more than a puppy, lay shivering in a puddle of water. The animal was injured, malnourished, its fur matted and dirty. Its large, frightened eyes met Jack's. "You're alone, aren't you?" Jack murmured, his voice breaking slightly. "Well, that makes two of us." He crouched down, slowly extending his hand. The dog initially recoiled, but something in Jack's gentle touch calmed it. "It's okay, little buddy. I won't hurt you." Without a second thought, Jack took off his coat and wrapped the animal in it. "Come on, I'll take you somewhere safe and warm." At the clinic, Jack worked tirelessly to stabilize the dog. He cleaned its wounds, applied medications, and carefully fed it. As he worked, he began talking to the animal. "You know, I used to be like you once. Full of hope, confident. But life has a way of knocking you down." He paused, reflecting. "My wife left me 5 years ago. Said I spent more time caring for animals than for her. Maybe she was right." In the weeks that followed, Jack devoted himself entirely to the dog's recovery. He named it Hope, an irony that didn't go unnoticed. As he cared for Hope, something began to change within him. One evening, while changing Hope's bandages, Jack found himself genuinely smiling for the first time in years. "You know, Hope," he said, "I think you're healing me as much as I'm healing you." Hope responded with a cheerful bark and a lick to Jack's face, eliciting a laugh from the veterinarian. "Hey, that tickles." News of a veterinarian caring for an abandoned dog spread quickly through the small town. Many praised his compassion, bringing gifts for Hope and offering help. But not everyone was happy. Dr. Sarah Mitchell, president of the local veterinary board, summoned Jack for a meeting. "Dr. Thompson," she said sternly, "I understand your intention, but you violated several protocols by treating an animal without a registered owner. This could put the clinic at risk." Jack felt anger rising within him. "And what do you suggest, Dr. Mitchell?" that I should have left it to die on the street. Don't be dramatic, Jack. There are procedures. Procedures. Jack interrupted. We're talking about a life. The discussion escalated, resulting in a formal disciplinary hearing. On the day of the hearing, Jack faced the board, passionately defending his actions. If we can't extend our compassion to the most vulnerable, what kind of professionals are we? What kind of human beings are we? I swore to save lives, not just those with a registered owner. His impassioned speech divided opinions, creating a heated debate in the veterinary community. At the height of the controversy, when it seemed Jack might lose his license, something unexpected happened. An elderly man, leaning on a cane, appeared at the clinic. His eyes filled with tears when he saw Hope. This is my dog," he said, his voice trembling. "I lost him months ago when I was hospitalized. I thought I'd never see him again." The revelation shocked everyone. The owner was none other than Dr. Robert Anderson, a renowned retired surgeon, respected throughout the medical community. "I called him Lucky," Dr. Anderson continued, petting Hope, who was jumping with joy. "He ran away when my granddaughter took him for a walk, the day I had a heart attack. I spent months in the hospital, and when I came back, I couldn't find him." Jack was stunned. "Dr. Anderson, I didn't know." The elderly man smiled gently. "How could you have known? You did what any good doctor, any good person would do. You saved a life." Dr. Anderson not only withdrew all charges against Jack but also used his influence to highlight the importance of compassion in veterinary practice. In an emotional interview with the local press, he declared, "Dr. Thompson not only saved my dog, he preserved the essence of what it means to be a doctor." Compassion should not be limited by bureaucratic rules. The story of Jack and Hope, or Lucky, became a catalyst for changes in policies regarding abandoned animal care. The Veterinary Board, pressured by public opinion, revised its procedures, creating a special protocol for treating stray animals. Through this experience, Jack rediscovered his passion for veterinary medicine and his love for life. He established a rescue program for abandoned animals, inspiring others to follow his example. Sometimes, Jack reflected in an interview months later, you need to lose yourself to find yourself. And sometimes, it's an abandoned animal that shows us the way back to our humanity. Jack's program grew rapidly. Volunteers from all over the city offered to help, and soon the clinic became a reference center for abandoned animal care. A young volunteer, Emily, asked Jack one day, "How do you manage to deal with so many sad cases and still maintain hope?" Jack smiled, looking at Hope playing in the clinic's garden. "Every animal we save is a victory. Every life we touch reminds us why we chose this profession. We can't save them all, but for those we do save, we make all the difference in the world." Years passed. On a sunny afternoon, Jack looked at his now thriving clinic, full of rescued animals and dedicated people. Hope, now an elderly dog with graying fur, was still by his side, as faithful as ever. "Thank you, old friend," Jack whispered, stroking Hope's head. "You taught me that it's never too late for a new beginning. You brought meaning back into my life." At that moment, a young couple entered the clinic, carrying a rescued kitten. Jack greeted them with a warm smile, ready for another journey of healing and hope. You see, dear viewer, this story teaches us valuable lessons about compassion and empathy. It shows how extending kindness to others can heal our own wounds. Jack overcame his bitterness through his acts of kindness, persevering despite adversity and staying true to his principles. Jack's journey, from a bitter man to an inspiring individual, reminds us of the power of personal transformation. It shows us how a single act of kindness can trigger significant changes in our lives and in society. This story is also about second chances. Both Hope and Jack received a new opportunity in life. It makes us reflect on the dilemma between following rules and doing what is morally right, highlighting the conflict between professional ethics and human compassion. Finally, the narrative demonstrates the power of community and how an inspiring story can motivate positive changes in society. We see how Jack's attitude not only changed his own life but also impacted an entire community, inspiring others to act with more compassion. Remember, you who are watching, Even in the most unlikely circumstances, we can find redemption and purpose. Never underestimate the power of an act of kindness and the importance of maintaining compassion, even in the face of adversity. Each of us has the power to make a difference, whether by caring for an abandoned animal, helping a neighbor in need, or simply offering a smile to a stranger. Sometimes, it's the simplest gestures that have the greatest impact. I hope this story has touched your heart and inspired you to look at the world with more empathy. May it encourage you to reach out to those in need, be they human or animal. Remember, every small act of kindness can make a big difference. Before we conclude, I'd like to leave you with a question to ponder. What small act of kindness can you perform today that could make a big difference in someone's life? Share your own stories of compassion in the comments below. Your experiences may inspire others to do good. Until the next video, and remember, compassion is a superpower that we all possess. Use it wisely and frequently,